We are back with this breaking news following this plane crash in Tierra Santa that killed multiple people on board the crash. As for the surroundings in the neighborhood, no one has been seriously hurt.
Yeah, and what you're looking at here, rescue crews going into the neighborhood to help so many families. These are military families, many of them woken up to that sound of a crash, the fire in their neighborhood, all having to leave, and they had to leave many of their pets behind. So at this point, so many families can't go back to their homes. Right. But you see right there, police officers gathering what looks to be two or three huskies, little babies. It looks like little puppies there also that they are able to bring out of the home and hopefully reunite with their family members. Yeah, it's a really sad day here in San Diego. As we know, multiple people died as they were trying to land their airplane at Montgomery Field coming from Wichita, Kansas. We're trying to learn how many people were on board. We do know that that airplane can carry up to 8 to 10 people. Investigators telling us they don't know how many people were on board, but they do know there were multiple fatalities. That Cessna Citation, a business jet, 8 to 10 people possibly could fit on that plane. We should point out no other casualties in the neighborhood. No one had to be taken to the hospital in the neighborhood. Let's check in with Regina Yorita, who's been covering this since early this morning. Regina, first of all, where are you and what are you seeing there?
Guys, we continue to be live here right exactly where that impact happened. You can see the destruction here. Just about 30 minutes ago, we saw really a handful of law enforcement as well as officials and the mayor here viewing the destruction, noticing it firsthand, because just standing here, it's shocking to see really how this all unfolded. And now that we've gotten confirmation that no one living in this neighborhood was injured, we've been talking to families a little bit more, some who have been coming back, but just to grab essentials and then heading back to that evacuation center. We actually spoke with one man who really heard it all, noticed it, and at first was startled by it. He was sleeping, and as I caught him here trying to ask him questions about how this unfolded, he was actually grabbing diapers for, I'm assuming, his kid, his family, but here's what he told us.
The window and just saw fire all the way down the road. It was like a kind of a dull explosion, just like fluid going up pretty much in flames. I looked out my window, saw everything, grabbed both my kids. Then I started to come out the front door. When I came out the front door, I heard like pop, 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 pop.
So you can hear that sound that he made, thinking that it was gunshots. He told me that his first instinct was obviously to go check outside and see what was happening. And once he noticed flames, he grabbed his family and just started to evacuate for safety. And right now, some of the video that you're looking at is just what we've kind of noticed throughout the morning, right? We noticed officials and law enforcement actually helping some of the dogs that were left here in this scene. Most of the dogs were actually being pulled out with a cart. I can tell you these dogs were shaking. They also were scared, just noticing everything that happened. Some of them not knowing where their owners were. So you could tell that many people just had to move and leave for safety and grab and go, grab their family and just leave. But we did notice several actually dogs getting pulled out by police officers. And that was right around the time that Mayor Todd Gloria was here on scene, noticing really the destruction and the damage and seeing all the debris that's been scattered here. But we've been noticing it too throughout the street. You can see more than a dozen vehicles damaged. Their windows are blown out. The paint you can see on some of these cars have been peeled off just by the heat of that plane as it came barreling through here. Many of these cars, we're also noticing that they were pushed either in the middle of the street or they're on people's yards just because of this debris.
A little audio issue there, but our heart goes out to obviously everyone involved in this horrific crash. And these military families who at 3:45 this morning were sleeping and this plane, boom, you heard them pop, pop, pop. And then they just saw this pinwheel down the street, cars exploding and lighting on fire. Many of them displaced, dozens, 100 of them have been evacuated to Miller Elementary right now. Their lives upended in this horrific crash in Tierra Santa.
And to think they have babies. We saw a lot of people with babies, young children leaving that area, going to Miller Elementary. That school is closed for today, but it is an evacuation center. They're providing child care because many people still have to report to work.
Right.
I mean, these are military members, Marines, sailors.
Some of them deployed
all
right
living
now.
there. Families, yes, with loved ones who are deployed. So a lot of single parents, but they rely on each other. We know this is a very strong-knit community where they're helping each other out. San Diego helping them out. Let's send it over now to Chris Grow. Chris, many people in pajamas still. I can't imagine, to leave so quickly and now, be left wondering when to get back. What are you noticing there?
Yeah, so again, the latest that we're being told is that homes that have not been directly impacted, those who have been evacuated still, though, as a precaution, they're likely going to be the ones who go back first, but we don't know exactly when that time will take place. I'll show you the scene right now, which is still pretty much closed off to those who are first responders, and then, of course, the media that is allowed to cover scenes and get close like that because of state law. So this has been the story here for really the past maybe 2 hours here. Those who have been evacuated, who had nowhere to go, were taken to Miller Elementary. At first, they were all staged here at this YMCA, which is just across the street from the crash site. I actually just took a look over there while Regina, our colleague, was live. And this is a 1 minute walk, a 1 minute slow walk away. So this was very close to, again, so many other types of buildings. You see the devastation in their live shot, and the only thing that you can think of course, is that how is it that, as we are hearing from San Diego Fire Rescue, that there were no serious injuries and nobody killed on the ground. It's something that, of course, will be part of that FAA investigation into why the plane crashed in the first place, the angle of descent, and so forth. But we have spoken, of course, to a number of neighbors. We've spoken to neighbors who have given us access to Ring footage that shows them trying to put out any type of small fires that may have been at their home shortly after this sparked. And then, of course, we've also spoken with neighbors who, I'm not sure if we want to go ahead and play that sound now, but we have heard from neighbors time and time again just about what they experienced. We'll go ahead and play that for you.
So I actually had my bedroom window open and I heard the explosion, but I didn't know what it was. I thought it was something down by Walmart. And then we just saw orange, but I didn't hear any sirens. And we didn't hear sirens for a very long time. And that's what concerned us. And we ran outside and saw just sparks flying up and tried to make sure everybody was okay. It was very, very scary.
All right, now as we come back out here live, you can see the firefighters, as we've been documenting, have been going ahead and turning in any of their gear that maybe touched any of that jet fuel as they begin to turn over this investigation, or the scene, I should say, to the investigators from both the FAA and NTSB, who will be leading the rest of this charge. But we will likely see a heavy presence of first responders here throughout the next 24 hours. Eric and Netta.
And Chris was able to get a live shot earlier. We saw animals, dogs, just shaking. They were in carts.
Right.
These are people's pets that were just in shock. I mean, we heard one woman saying they were barking. They were going crazy in her house.
And many couldn't leave with their pets.
Absolutely. So the pets are displaced in this as well.
And we do have an update now we want to mention from the San Diego Humane Society. They say at least 12 pets impacted by this plane crash there in the Murphy Canyon area are now at the San Diego campus. So they were brought to the Humane Society in San Diego, the downtown, or Gaines Street campus, excuse me. And some of these dogs, they do need to be treated.
Yeah, possibly covered in jet fuel. The medical teams are telling us they are currently checking them out right now. We also have a crew on the other side of the scene from where we've been showing you where the initial impact is. And it's significant because CBS 8's David Govertson's shot has been providing us with some context as to how that line of cars and homes were damaged because the plane landed in the middle of Sample Street, David.
Right.
You're on the other end, but the damage continued to where you're at because of the gutter system and the jet fuel. Can you explain that?
Right, we're on the west side of Sample Street, and it's downhill from the crash scene, and you can see the vehicles that caught fire as the fuel flowed down the drain here, and neighbors tell me the fuel was on fire. Additionally, it was garbage day, so if you right down here in front of us, this is not from a vehicle. These are melted garbage cans that caught fire. And all along the gutter system here, as we come around, it's black. It was a river of fire going down here. And you see down there, that vehicle was destroyed not by the crash, but by the fire in the gutter. So this is all downhill from the crash scene, and it ended up going further downhill. Even past that vehicle there you can see more trash cans that are melted because it just kept going downhill. Now, the other side, uphill, we noticed, along here, Jay, I'll show you. We noticed uphill, going this way, there was a melted vehicle up here, and we're like, what? How did this vehicle up here get melted? Because it's uphill, and it looks to me like there was no fuel in the gutter right here. This vehicle was driven apparently while on fire from one of the houses on Sample Street. You see, it's melted, and you can see there's white substance on the street here. There's a fire extinguisher over to the right here. So I'm guessing that this homeowner, his car was on fire on Sample Street. He drove it. This vehicle still appears to be drivable while it was on fire and melting. And then somehow someone with a fire extinguisher ended up putting this out. This vehicle is just parked here. I don't know who owns it. And he's probably evacuated at this point. He just got his car out of the fire zone and ended up here. And so there's just kind of destruction everywhere, you know, in this military housing, Murphy Canyon, you know. So, yeah, that's what happened downhill from the fire. Back to you.
And David, I can't help but notice before we leave your live shot, cars on the side of the road you're on aren't as impacted as the other side just because of where the plane crashed and then the jet fuel seeped in to the other side of the street, right?
Right. Wherever the
Someone please.
the jet fuel went down path of destruction of the cars over there on Sample Street that were burned. It's just, you know, follow the path of where it went, and it was a river of fire going down in the street gutter. This guy here got his vehicle out of that, and his vehicle's melted, but it's drivable, and he got it out, and just sitting here, and I've been looking at it, and I haven't seen the owner. He got his car off Sample Street, away from where all the flames were, and then he left. So just crazy kind of destruction zone all around this area.
All right, David, thank you. Yeah, could you imagine those chaotic moments? You saw a plane crash, cars burning around you, you run to your car to get it on the other side of the street. That's just a sample of the chaos that broke out at 3:45 this morning when a small plane crashed into this Tierra Santa neighborhood, which is a military neighborhood, killing everyone on board. We know it's multiple fatalities. Don't know the exact number yet, but we do know no one on the ground was taken to the hospital with any major injuries. So be sure to stay tuned for updates on this breaking news. We're going to stay on air here, but you can also go to CBS8.com, our app, our social media pages. If you're on the run, you can continue to watch our live team coverage.